Hey y'all, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing good out there, especially since all these recent hurricanes and everything like that. So just want to extend out any kind of words of encouragement. Also to tell you that those of you who have lost so much during these recent hurricanes, I will be thinking of you and I will be praying for you. So just something to think about. Now, but let's keep something in mind. Uh, I'm not what you would call some sort of religious holy man or something like that. I'm just a regular old guy. Okay, regular guy. Nothing special. Just making this video here. Underneath this towel and underneath this crate is a 318 that I bought several months back for not very much money. As a matter of fact, I paid so low for it. I paid $50 for it. Okay. So I've been the past couple of months. I've been this past month really. I've been working on getting it into the roll around the former grocery cart. Let me get you down here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, you see the grocery cart here. There's the grocery cart frame. You see the casters, the wheels, and what you can also see is you see a manual transmission small block bell housing and a small Independenzo starter, mini starter. But show you something really neat, unique here. This little window here was made into that. As you can see, this was cast in there. And if you look, let me get a light so you can see a little bit better. Yeah, let me get a light over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, fiddlesticks. Where did I? Ah, there it is. Don't you hate that? You lay something down and you forget where you laid it down. Okay, anyway, yeah, neat little feature about this bell housing, as you can see. I hope you can see right there. The TDC, top dead center, 5 degrees, BTC. Yeah, so that's a timing window, is what this is. So, and I've seen those before on vans. Now, Dodge vans, usually there's not very many of them with manual transmissions. But this is a manual transmission bell housing. I've seen automatic transmissions with that opening and with a timing indicator on the what is it? Oh, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Torque converter. Duh. Anyway, just a neat little feature, neat little thing I wanted to show you. But I have my 360. I made a video of that. You can check that out in some of my previous videos. Get that bracket off of there. But you can check this out here. This is a 318. Here's the 360. As you can see, got the manifold off, the right side manifold. Looks pretty good in there, especially for an engine that's been sitting 20 years at least. This 318, I have zero knowledge of how long that thing's been sitting. It's anybody's guess. It really is. So what I'm going to do is, on this video, is I'm going to try to assess the condition of this engine. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to put a compression tester on this engine. I'm going to spin it over first time. Then I'm going to put a compression tester on it. I'm going to see what kind of compression it's making on each cylinder. And then after that's done, we'll check it all out, look at the numbers, and see where they're at. See if they look good enough to carry on. Okay, like the 360. Okay, 360 had a couple of cylinders that was weak and was down, I'm doing this right here because there is some oil in one of the cylinders, and I spun it over just a little bit before I started making the video, and oil just like shot out and went all over absolutely everything. So, here we go. Yeah, I knocked something over. Ah, there we go. Had a little trouble finding the gauge. Okay, here we go. We're going to just spin the engine over, make sure it spins over nice and free. No, nothing in the way. No spark plugs are in it, so. That's looking pretty good to me. Sounding pretty good too. Okay. Yeah, we shot it. It shot out. We shot out some oil. I think it was some oil I put in one of the cylinders, I guess. Maybe somebody else did. I don't know. I drained the oil out of this engine, and it smelled like old gas. You know, that old stale, dead gas. It's been around for a long time. That's what it smelled like. So, anyway. Like I said before, I have zero knowledge of this engine's condition, so I can't really comment, you know, one way or the other how long this thing's been sitting. I'm going to say at least a year, maybe longer. Basically, what my plans are is I'm going to assess the condition of this engine. Once I find out the condition, then I will make a judgment call if it's going to be decent or not. And if it's going to be worth doing anything with, or if it's going to be just a total waste of my time. All right, there we go. All right, cylinder number 1. Here we go. You know what? I'm going to put this over some of these other cylinders. I don't want that oil spraying on me. I don't have manifolds on this engine yet, so. Wow. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. For myself. Let me show you this. Look at that. Hope you can see that. 300 PSI. It pegged out the gauge. Yeah. If every cylinder's like that, I might be hooking up. Wow. little speechless there. Okay. Put you back into the place where I had you there. Okay. Just making sure you get a good picture here. Okay. Move the camera around. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Here we go. All right. Let's see. 318. Cylinder 1. There we go. Wow. You know, I was hoping that one of these engines would turn out to be pretty decent. I couldn't have imagined 300 PSI. Now that cylinder did have oil in it, so that cylinder is very, very wet. You can see right there, you see all the oil on that. So, okay. So let's get on to the next cylinder. Cylinder number 3. Now on small block Mopars, small block Mopar V8s, this is a 318. This is like an 80s something. I'm going to say probably 86, 87 model. This has the, I'd say at least an 87 model. This has the 302 casting number cylinder heads. Now, what that means is these aren't heads off of a 302 Ford. These are the last 3 digits of the casting number on those heads is 302. 302. So, 302 casting number heads. Basically, these are a 9-to-1 compression engines from the factory. But, that's what they're rated at. Now, they're rated at 9-to-1 compression. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you that they are 9-to-1 compression, but that's what the factory calls them. So I'm going to go with that for right now. But they have the nice swirl combustion chamber, and although the valves are smaller, the ports are smaller, but they do have that nice combustion chamber. So okay, not too bad. I mean, I'll take it. All right, here's cylinder number 3. Wow. Holy smokes. $270. I'm not lying. You see right there for yourself. 270 PSI. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, let's just keep on going. Let's see what else this engine has to offer. All right. Now this cylinder is probably pretty wet too. Just a bunch of oil just got on my hand from when I released the pressure. So just something to keep in mind. I'd say even if it was dry, you'd probably be looking at a pretty healthy engine. Pretty healthy cylinders there. Those two anyway. So let's go to the next. Now I don't have a carburetor on this, so I don't, there's no holding the throttle blades open or something like that. But that would be the normal thing you would do if you had a carburetor or a throttle body, whatever. For like fuel injection. That would be the normal operation. Get some of the oil off my hands. Here we go. All right. Let's see, what have we got here with this engine? This cylinder. All right, cylinder number 5. $270 again. Woo! I should have released that, but I didn't. That was really silly of me. So let me write that down. Okay. Wow, this engine just keeps on giving. I'll take it. I'll take it. So, all right, here we go. Now, notice I'm putting this thing in with my fingers by hand. I'm not like got a wrench on it and torquing it down. And now all these cylinders are wet, like I said, like I've already said a couple times before. So now this engine has only been with me. I've only owned it a couple of months. You know, actually more like 3 or 4 months. So, no, sorry, more like several months. But in that time, I've not done much with it. I've had the thing up on its end, and so oil has probably ran into the cylinders. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I had it up on its, its crank end and over, and it's kind of laid over on one side and this kind of stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if the other set of cylinders wasn't that great. Okay, so. But honestly, this thing sounds like it wants to fire up and go right now. So, all right, here we go. All right, here we go. Here goes cylinder number. This is number 1, 3, 5, 7. Number 7. Okay, well, the good times couldn't last forever. Yep, couldn't last forever. So I'll just let you see what I see. Such a disappointment. 210 psi. Actually, more like maybe 212. Wow. A buddy of mine I bought this engine off of. He said that he was told it was a good engine. It's kind of looking that way. So basically, what I'm going to do, I'll show you something else that's kind of funny. There's oil coming out of those ports, and there's like little splatters of it, and they're like, it's all over my tailgate here. I think, yeah, there's some right here on the back of the truck. So on the tail light over there. So I'll clean it up. It's no big deal. Yeah. Let's see. This is actually extremely good compression. For those of you who don't know, I mean, most of you gearheads out there like me, you've been around a little while, 210 psi, 270, 300, and it's like incredible. Now, but let me remind again, this has had oil sitting in it, in the cylinders. So I'm just admitting that right off the bat. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, look at me, yeah. Okay. All right, so next is I will probably have to move this battery and move this engine over just a little bit to get to the other side there. So I'm going to have to move the cardboard over a little bit too. This garage of mine is a wood floor, so I don't want to have to, like, the cart to have to roll over the cardboard. Wouldn't be that big of a deal, really, but I don't know, it's just one more thing it has to work around. So I'm going to try to get everything moved over little by little. The engine, the battery, everything. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that'll do. So let's start on cylinder number 2 here. Yeah. 1, 3, 5, and 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Had a little indigestion earlier, so. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Popped off there. All right. So I'm gonna cover these set of cylinders back up, so I'm gonna keep some of the spray off of them. Okay. So. All right, there we go. keep anything out of the distributor here. The distributor's rotating, and I don't want anything getting hung up on that. All right. Alrighty. Wow. This is incredible. Cylinder number 2, 240 psi. Absolutely insane. Let me show you. This engine, it don't look like much, I know. It is. Hope you could see that. 240 psi. Insane. It's like a brand new engine or something. This is crazy. Why would somebody... Who knows? To figure out human nature sometimes can be the biggest mystery, I guess. Alright, so some old seat tracks there are getting in the way. I bumped into them, knocked them over. Yeah, I don't think they come off some old bucket seats that were just rotten. The seat tracks actually were pretty good. Alright, so let's get that. Yeah. Alright, so go back here to cylinder number 4. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm testing the sealing of the cylinders, okay? The sealing of the piston rings to the cylinder walls. Also the sealing of the cylinder head to the gasket and the block. So I want to make sure that everything is sealing like it's supposed to. So somebody, if I do a little thinking, somebody might have been thinking that this was a bad engine initially. It's not looking like it really. But somebody might have thought this was a bad engine by the fact I just fished out this valve cover bolt. It fell down there on the head, but it hadn't made its way down. It was right there, so I thought I'd go ahead and get it out. But I'd say probably what happened because of that oil being so gasified and smelling like old rotten gas. I bet you anything that maybe the carburetor that was on this engine was just junk, and it was just like dumping fuel down in there all the time and leaking it and all of this sort of nonsense. And I bet you that was probably what was causing this engine to run terribly. Golly. Ouch. Unbelievable. I can't imagine it. I mean, you know, this was just sitting at in my buddy's garage. He comes to me one day and he says, "Hey, I've got these 2 Chrysler automatic transmissions, and I got these 2 318s. You know." He actually called one of them a 360. It wasn't, but he called it a 360. Oh, man. I gotta get them things up in storage and get them out of the way. I keep bumping into them. But yeah, he keeps calling them he kept calling them he called one of these 318s a 360, even though it said 318 right there on the cylinder wall. Trying to get this one started. There we go. I don't know where you all are at, but I know where I'm at. Here in East Tennessee, it's still really, really warm. So I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty crazy. It's September. Well, I said it's pretty crazy. Actually, it's pretty normal for here. I mean, I've seen people going around in short sleeves and shorts way on up into the end of September and even into October sometimes. So, all right, here we go. Cylinder number 6. Wow. I'm going to call that 220. Holy cow. Every cylinder over 200 psi. Ain't too shabby. I'll take that. Okay. Wow. That's just unbelievable. Now my next plans for this engine are I'm going to be putting a point style distributor in it, and I've got one sitting in this 360 that works exceptionally well. And then I'm going to, after I get that done, I'm also going to check the crank timing chain to see how much slop we've got in the that's distributor. There is no advance, so there's no way. It seems pretty good right there, but I'm going to check to see how much slop we've got between the distributor shaft and the crankshaft. So it's just a simple, easy test you can do. And when it's on, on a stand like this, you can really do it, and it's really super easy. So here we go. Cylinder number 8. Here we go. Well, hey, what a disappointment. I'm telling you, tremendous disappointment. Tremendous. I'll show you. Yeah, 150. Hey, party can't last forever, But I'd say that cylinder's probably just very, very dry. So I bet you anything, I put a bunch of Marvel Mystery Oil or something down in there, that cylinder would come right up. Now, in a lot of manuals and books and such, it'll tell you to do a test with a cylinder dry and a cylinder wet, and then average the two. But I'm just going to go with it like it is, because like I said, I have zero knowledge of this engine prior to my owning it. So there you go. So anyway, now everything's looking good. So yeah, next I'm going to be putting a carburetor on it. I'm going to put a points distributor in it. I'm going to put oil and a filter on it. Oh, these engines also have the roller lifters, so that's something to keep in mind. As a matter of fact, if you want to know how to find that information out, I'll show you real quick. Okay, it's not that hard to do. So get you some Scotch-Brite, something like that, sandpaper, even a wire brush will work. A light, maybe some carburetor cleaner, brake parts cleaner, anything like that. You want to come to the front of the engine. Traditionally, you want to come to the front of the engine. You want to look at the block right here. There's a series of numbers cast or stamped right there. Now this will tell you, if you can see that says 5M318. So this is a 318. Now you can also come down here and look down here at this lower side down here above the, here towards the back end of the engine, I guess you could say. Okay. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but that says 318 right there. So I hope you can see that well enough. I'll tell you what, that light is pretty bright. Yeah, so right there, 318, 318. So, yeah. So, just above the starter and just above the very back freeze-out plug. So, if you're ever wanting to know about, you know, someone says, hey, I've got a 360, and, oh yeah? And you're like, yeah, I do. And you go and see it, and you see 318 cast into the block, or you look up here at the front and it says 318 stamped into the block. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so, but nonetheless, 318, fantastic engine. I don't have any problems with it myself. I've got lots of love for them. So, anyway, okay, this has been very productive. Oh, I was going to show you the little trick with the distributor. Now, you can look that up and you can see it. Everybody's done it. But it's not hard to do. It's simple. Simple. All you got to do, 1.25" socket. Okay. Breaker bar, ratchet. Oh, there we go. And didn't want to release. Okay. All right. All you want to do. Now I'm going to put a rotor button on this to make it a little easier to point and to make it stand out a little bit better. So, all right, there we go. Got a rotor button on there. We're just going to run this thing back and forth. Okay. Yep, there's a little bit of slop there. A little bit more than I like. So, I'll let you see what I'm talking about. I wish there was somewhere you could see this a little bit better. But, hope you can see the rotor button back there. Okay, you see the rotor button? Man, okay. Okay, let's see. All right, you see